Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Samuel here. I'm the customer engineer at Google. Let's move on for some demos, particularly in the retail space. The core for Google Workspace is always looking at people. And I think in the retail area, when we dive into a day in the life in this industry, we see numerous opportunities or possibilities that you can set up the platform as the foundation and bringing in values. A few examples here. First one is helping you to connect people, right? This means communication, email, instant messaging, cloud drive. And on top of that is the culture of collaboration. And there are many different collaboration scenarios in retail industry, no matter it's in-store or core store operations every day. But your retail workers may need to work together as a team to serve your shoppers. Another example for internal collaboration, maybe you are just trying to simplify the management process by digitizing the workflow, such as store inventory management, or enhance the efficiency of new employee onboarding process just because of the high turnover rate of the frontline workers. There are many different components in the workspace family that could address that specific needs. So today we are going to walk you through a little bit on one of the scenarios for next generation retail workers. And I will pretend I'm a shop manager who needs to organize staff shift scheduling in my daily work. Many shift management applications today are in the moment providing an interface that you could assign resources based on their calendar. But in general, those applications doesn't take external factors into the considerations. So think about that, like in retail, right? External factors such as local events or bad weather, or even staff health conditions that could impact my daily roster planning. And if I would like to predict those changes and make an in-time adjustment, make my shift a better planning, that will very depends on my understanding of the experience, my personal understanding of the industry, or my past experience. That very, very subjective. So the scheduling is not only, I think it's not only very highly uncertain, it could be also very manual, because many shift managers today maybe are still conducting the planning based on papers, based on pens. And you know, for that, it's very hard to make changes. And they are also the source of frictions, especially when employees need to make a change. They could be satisfied because the changing process may be top down. And as a shop manager, I may be the bottleneck to handle all of these changes. So let's take a look. What's the possibilities here? I think the workflow that are traditionally highly manual and static can be replaced by a digitized workflow. Everything starting from your data. Today, you may already have different source or different type of data about your business. No matter it's from your POS system, or maybe it's the in-store sensors to detect the customer traffic footprint. There is a variety of services available in Google Cloud to store your data and make use of them. If I have a traffic data, record my daily customer traffic, I can ingest those data into the serverless data warehouse service like BigQuery. Or some stores may be still operating quite independently and disconnected. Maybe my customer traffic data is just a spreadsheet, right? And here Google Sheet could host that data. Either way, no matter it's on BigQuery or it's on Google Sheets, we should make use of those data. And what we can do here is, I think a very hot topic is that by leveraging the machine learning. As an example, we can use BigQuery ML to create a time series model. A time series model is a historic sequence of values as the input, and the output is a sequence of future predicted values. And in this case, in the shift planning, I may want to forecast the customer traffic to the store in upcoming days or time slots. Definitely, you can put into other influencing factors as well, so that you can add different elements, attributes into this forecast, such as the weather forecast. Today, you can retrieve weather forecast result from many external API. Workspace has the extensibility called the apps group, that you can associate external weather forecast result with your spreadsheet together. And so with this similar concept, as many as influencing factors you're adding to your data set, and you can make the forecast more accurate. So let's have a very, very simple demo of this. Let's say I have a spreadsheet here, which I work on every day. And from this spreadsheet, you can see this is actually a, let me hide this one. It's a traffic spreadsheet, which have my everyday customer traffic data. And these are very good because I can leverage all this traffic data and make my staff shift plan, right? This is to say, maybe for any traffic spike in theory, I should have more people assigned it for that shift. But my question is, I don't understand. But my question is, I don't have that visibility to predict the traffic. This is all, again, this is all based on my personal experience. If I'm a new store manager, I may need more time to understand the traffic pattern, particularly for this store. So the BigQuery ML can be leveraged or very, very helpful here. To be conscious of the time, this spreadsheet, I have some set up to connect with the GCP BigQuery service already. It's very simple to set this up, but just we also have some sample script on the public internet. You can just feel free to leverage that. So what you could see, what I could tell here is that from this Google Sheet, you see a button here. It's a BQML. And I have pre-trained the model based on all this historic data. And what I did is that if I need to train any data, I can highlight those. For this time series model, I can highlight 2 columns. So the column 1 is the time, the second one is the value, and very simple, click this train button, and that will help me to train this model. And then I would like to do some predict for the traffic, right? I can, again, just highlight the cell range I would like to predict or forecast, and choose the BQML and choose forecast. App Sheet, this Google Sheet together with this BQML will helping me to predict the upcoming traffic values here. And this can be also automated. What I'm presenting here is a manual work to do this prediction results. But if you set up an auto trigger, this can be a scheduled task running automatically from the backend, and you get, as a result, you will get an always up-to-date predict results for your customer traffic. So now moving to the next step, right? When I have all those data, I will still need to benefit from the traffic predictions. And don't forget, one of my daily work is a shift planning. And how about if I would like to be notified when this upcoming traffic spikes, I would like to have some suggestion for the appropriate resource planning. And here, AppSheet automation is the perfect tool that I can use to automate all this process. Let's just assume our spreadsheet now containing the traffic patterns, the weather forecast, together with other essential tables, employee information, time logging sheet, whatever data source you would like to add into this workflow. And I will use the AppSheet, which is a no-code development platform. So everyone can be a developer to develop some app, automate their workflow. So now with this AppSheet capability, it connects to all my data sources and create an application with no coding needed. The application containing function, in this case, should give me suggestions to plan the shift, right? And the frontline workers can also use this app to apply shift or maybe swap shift between peers. If you like, maybe adding more functions such as geo-detected clock in and clock out functions. I think that's also possible, and that's also available. So yeah, let's move on to take a look at this for the shift planning. I think as a shop manager, I would like to start from in Gmail. I actually begin my day of the work right from the Gmail user interface. And this is the place to begin my journey around employee engagements. An email is an asynchronous tool, so that if I missed anything from my last shift, I can basically catch up all the information from here. And I have, if I need a instant messaging, if I need a real-time communication, I can dig into the Google Chat tools, and I can chat to my peers. And if I can also have access to their Spaces, Google Spaces here as well. So now this is a sort of like a chat tool, but Google Spaces is with a bit more functionalities, with all the historic records, the documents in these spaces, and I can do seamless. I can leave a message or do seamless handoff between the location managers, or maybe just exchange information that I need to share here. So we see a few diagrams. We see a few diagrams here in these spaces. And actually, what are they? Actually, they are the message sent from my forecasting application or from the app sheet. They're actually telling me the forecast traffic changes. So what's happening behind the scene? App sheet trying to consolidate and notice all the weather event and other traffic patterns, including those prediction results from our data, and comes up with this forecast notification. So I'm expecting that we can see that upcoming days, that what I have planned for the shift probably is not going to meet the need of predicted customer traffic, and the areas are highlighted here. Those in red areas, those means the extra traffic. So as the manager, I'm trying to keep up my shift, keep up my shift capacity. So I will need to get rid of this. And I could go to click this view buttons. That will bring me to the app sheet, bring me to this dedicated application for managing my shift. And the shift management tool, what you see here is all built by the app sheet. And with this highly visual user interface, let's switch a little bit. With this highly visual user interface, I can see here all my shift with indicator telling me the healthless status of the of my planning shift. Let me zoom in a little bit, easier. I can also have a calendar view here. The calendar view gives me a better visibility. So for those shifts highlighted in red, I click into it. This is the problem that I should focus and to address this concern. Right. So what I can see here is that it's probably forecasting extra traffic on April 22. And the message is the forecast demand is higher than my shift capacity, and suggesting me to increase the shift capacity by 1. Now I can see the events. It's Rabi 7th, and the forecast percentage change is 43%, and the recommended recommendations increased by 1 here. Unfortunately, I also noticed another issue here, is that I see Roger highlighted in red exclamation mark here. He's getting very close to the overtime for this month. And it is suggesting, the app is suggesting me to remove him to avoid overtime. So I can, here I can choose him and remove him from the roster. But that doesn't fix the problem for the extra traffic, because we do need more people to work on this shift. So what I can do here is I can change the shift capacity, and as the recommendation is increased by 1, so I can just increase 1. And I need to find people to fill out this shift as well. And here I have another option is to tell, I can reach out to all available staff based on their availabilities and send an email or instant messaging for them. So I can automatically reach out to everyone who's available, and then can let the app to look for volunteer for me to apply this shift. So if everything's good, right, I could click save. And what doing here is the automation again being triggered, and the email will send and notification will send to all the available stuffs here. All right. As the manager, not only about managing the shift, I sometimes also need to do reporting. So move further, I can dig into some real-time metrics as well. This is the real-time dashboard reporting our overall shift status. Who's the volunteer leaderboard? Who's opting into most shifts? How about my revenue plan versus the actual? I can build up all the other reporting diagrams just within this application. It's fully customizable based on the AppSheet capabilities. Move further, I can also build up other functions for this app as well. For example, I can do the sales forecast. I can do try to get the promotions information from headquarters, or maybe manage my shifts, manage my team. These are the grid view for all my team members here. I can see their preferences, I see their contact methods, their average wage, all the information here, all customizable. Let's shift the gear a little bit here. Change to mobile. So as what I just showed is the view from a manager, but now shift the gear from a frontline worker mobile device here. So remember, as the manager, I just sent out a request to all available workers to fill in extra demand for the upcoming shift. As the frontline worker, I may not have a laptop, so I use my mobile phone every day. And here, when I start my mobile phone, I can go to my my Gmail, and this is the management. By the way, this is the manager profile, MDM managed by the Google Workspace. So you see the work profile on the right bottom corner. So all these apps are managed by the Google Workspace. You can control the data security here, and including pushing the app, right? So here, if I start the Gmail, I will see I receive a bunch of notifications here already. And some of them, excuse me, are shift volunteers needed. If I take a look at this message, give it some time to load, because this is actually a dynamic email record. This is the user interface generated by the AppSheet right within your email. And as the frontline worker, I can interact with this message as well. So this message is telling me, shift on Friday, my manager is looking for some resources, right? The weather is raining, so maybe rugby sevens, so I need more staff to fill out this shift. If I feel good to this shift, I can just simply click this accept shift. Once again, automation behind the scene kick off, add me into the shift. AppSheet can also let my manager know that I've picked up this shift. It all depends on your defined logic from the AppSheet. So now you see that I finished the processing. I can tell that you're already on this shift, and the volunteers, I will be the volunteers for this shift right now. Then I don't, as a manager, imagine that I may not need to spend hours on the phone to check my people availability. So automations by the AppSheet can helping me offload some of the work. If I go out here and take a look at this one, this is actually a retail spotlight. This is the app we are demoing right now. So it's an app generated by AppSheet, not only running on the browser, but AppSheet can also generate some APK files or iOS white label app that you can leverage the MDM again, push this private app to the user mobile devices. And here I have this app as the end user. So I can log in with my work account because this is already the work account login device. So that, let me just switch the profile. This is the stuff. So this is the frontline worker view on this app, right? Again, I can see my shift, everything's here, and the different functions there. I can shift sign up, I can cover requests, and I can change more information from my profile. It depends on my needs again. For example, if for this shift, this is something my manager assigned it to me, right? And I can even see the task list that my manager dynamically set it up for myself, so I can follow all these tasks for this shift. But if I'm not available, I can choose request cover. When I choose request cover, that means my request is sending to this portal, and my peers, when they're logging into the same application, they will see my request. For example, if I'm not available on that day, then I can look for similar requests asked by others, and I can simply, if I'm good with her, I can choose this one and just swap our shift. All by your employees. You don't have to send this request to your manager to get the approval. So everything you can do that and to offload some work from the manager. All right. I think that's a very, very quick recap of some user scenarios between the app shift, between the workspace, and I think let me have a wrap up. Workspace is very useful to strengthen people's communication and collaboration. And what will make this more powerful is including the no-code development service app sheet into the family as well. So it creates endless possibilities to automate the workflow and connect to your data. And that's all for my demo. Thank you.